Welcome to Quick Shots, a short format traditional archery podcast, where we introduce you to some of the world's most influential traditional archers, and occasionally, some random dudes. I'd like to send a big shout out to our sponsor, Archery Pass. For all your trad archery products, Archery Pass, making archery's past part of your future. ArcheryPass.com. That's good Canadian. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Quick Shots. I'm your host, Mick Chambers, and I got Susan Snider today here joining us. Thank you very much for joining us.
Absolutely. Can't believe I'm here.
I can't believe you're either. I don't know why anyone comes on this show. It's ridiculous. But anyway, but I'm glad you're here. And, this is the way we start things off. I'd like to get your origin story, get to know a little bit more about you. So if you could kick it off and just tell us, how did you get into archery?
So my ex was obsessed with the idea of doing archery, and he tried over 10 years to get me to try and do it. And approximately once a year, I'd agreed to fling some arrows. I hated it. It hurt. I couldn't draw a 12-pound bow. I was attacked by mosquitoes and ticks. The arrows went all over the place. I'd throw the thing down onto the dirt and stalk back to the car and lock myself in the car. And we would do that every year or two. And then a few years ago, he got a bow for our son. So now I had no choice. I had to do archery because my child was obsessed with it. And let me tell you, archery is the perfect sport for families. Doesn't matter what level you are, you can stand at the same shooting line and you can shoot arrows. That cannot be said for skiing, for bicycle riding, for tennis, you name it. You've got to have the same skill level, not for archery. So I don't know, it just clicked this time. We were all obsessed. We joined a club. This was almost exactly 3 years ago. And I started shooting regularly, and 5 months later, I qualified for Team USA to go to Worlds.
That's amazing. But hey, so you were sharing something previously with me. So you're a not natural athlete. You're an athlete. You're an athlete, period, right? Would you consider yourself like an athlete?
You know, I hadn't really thought of myself in those terms, but I guess I've done a lot of sports and I've had some successes in them. And I like trying a lot of sports, and I think that's definitely a factor of what's going on with archery.
And you're also coaching archery too?
I am. I'm a level 2 certified coach. We have a JOAD program at my club here in Northern Virginia. And I'm helping get those kids started on Olympic archery. And I'm trying really hard not to overtly convert them to barebow.
So okay, so JOAD is kind of that Olympic archery program, but is there a time when barebow is going to be an Olympic event, you think?
Well, so it was, right? It was originally. That's how it started out. And then because of I believe the desire to make the bows more accurate and the competition more challenging, then the technology evolved, and now we have the modern Olympic recurve bow. Certainly there are people much better connected than me who are lobbying hard for it to end up back into the Olympics. Gosh, I would love that. I think anything that grows the sport is just amazing. I think compound was being looked at as one of those trial sports along with breakdancing. I'm not going to comment on that. And I think even, it doesn't matter. Put any bow in. I don't care. Just keep growing the sport.
So let's go back a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about your archery career. Tell us a little bit about your progression. You kind of jumped from, I started 3 years ago, to qualified for Team USA. Man, that's it. Yeah. We're done. And you're not even American, which is really, I don't know how you do that.
Yeah. So I'm dual. I have dual citizenship. I'm not eligible to compete for Canada because I'm not a member of any Canadian clubs. I am a member of USA Archery and a USA Archery club, so I do get to compete in the US. So it's actually, I started archery after 10 years of trying really hard not to, and I had the great good fortune of having amazing teammates who supported me, guided me, pushed, and along the way, after trying to help teach me how to shoot and allowing me to experiment, to go my own way, taught me 3D shooting because that we have an amazing course at my club, the Isaac Walton Fairfax, Arlington Fairfax chapter here in Northern Virginia. And it was just a lot of fun being out in the woods with these guys. Ryan Johnson's a longbow shooter. I was also out there with some compound guys, and they convinced me to enter a tournament. It went well. They convinced me to travel to team trials for World Championships 3D in 2019. Top 3 make the team. The conditions were pretty intense. There were significant storms. We had water almost up to our knees at one point. After the end of the first day, I was 4th, and after the end of the second day, after being out there practicing in the pouring rain at 5 a.m. because I needed to do better with distance, I jumped into 2nd and I made the team.
Wow, that's an amazing story. That's incredible. Like, I honestly, it's been such a struggle. It's, you know, it's true, struggle stick, you know, that hashtag struggle stick. I mean, my personal journey, it's been tough. It has been rough.
Yeah.
It's not an easy sport to pick up and go for. I mean, how do you,
I think it's
go ahead.
impossible. We've designed a sport that's impossible. So it's a sport of millimeters, and that's you. You have to control yourself down to the millimeter, you know, not just, you know, how much weight you have on your front foot versus your back foot, but let's talk big toe versus pinky toe. But, you know, all of these things, and to the smallest degree that you can control them, you've got to control them. And those things control how many millimeters we talk about on the target.
Mhm.
Well, we're not made to do that. Okay, maybe once, but 72 times for an outdoor tournament, 60 times for an indoor tournament? No, it's an impossible sport. People like Fawn Gerard, John Demmer, they make it look easy. The rest of us, you know, we're working hard. We're constantly trying to keep things in the front of our mind. We're trying to control all these different things. We're trying to stay relaxed, still have a good time. Yeah, struggle stick is a great name for it. And it hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows for me. I came down with target panic in the middle of outdoor nationals this year. And I'm still fighting that good fight every single day.
Seriously. I know I mean, everyone can go watch those outdoor nationals that you participated in. And, you know, that the amount of pressure that you must be under there. And it wasn't great conditions is what I've been hearing. You know, it was a little hot. It was super hot. There wasn't anything to drink. You didn't care, did you? You're like,
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you wait for perfect, you're going to be staying home a lot. Just get out there and make the best of it. Everybody's in the same conditions. Support the people around you, be open to them supporting you, and have a good time.
Yeah, pressure is a privilege, right? Like, that's what you high-level athletes say. Pressure is a privilege. For the rest of us, we crack up. Hey?
Pressure makes diamonds.
It does make diamonds. That's true. And there was some great shooting. I mean, I think the way that you came on the scene was pretty cool. And it's interesting that I get to talk to you now. When you're talking about, you know, in controlling the environment or not controlling the environment, just you got to go do it, right? It sounds like you came from the outdoor nationals, or sorry, the qualifier for the US team, and that was crappy conditions. Then you had to deal with the heat and the humidity in outdoor nationals, and, you know, you're still competing at the highest level. What do you think is that mental toughness, or is that preparation, or how would you say that?
Yeah, that's a great question. Honestly, I don't think you can have mental toughness in those situations without good preparation.
Okay.
You know, a friend of mine says there's no such thing as bad weather, there's just bad gear. So, you know, I worked so hard the summer of 2019 trying to shoot in the rain so that I would be ready for that at Worlds.
Wow.
Check the weather. It never rained here. The number of times it would be raining at whatever time of day, and I would hop in my car, drive the 30 minutes to my club, and show up in, you know, bright blazing sunshine. So, you know, you try and identify all of the variables, you try and be comfortable with as many of them as you can, and then you just launch. It's the best you can do.
Just send it. So speaking of gear, what are you shooting? What do you shoot?
So I'm so glad that you let me know that you were going to ask me that question, because I'm never able to answer that question.
Really?
It doesn't matter what I shoot. Whatever I have, it's better at archery than I am.
Mhm.
So I have my gear here. I have a Gilo G2 from January of 2019. Red and black are my colors. I have Uka limbs, 34-pound limbs. I have a 29.5-inch draw.
Wow.
So yeah, big like condor, strong like chicken. Um, So, this is the problem with finding out, hey, what is somebody else doing? It doesn't really matter because your conditions are going to be different from them.
Yeah.
With this setup, I'm point on at 50 meters. And not a lot of women get that opportunity. And it's because I have this freakishly long draw. So I have a biter plunger, a sniper rest, a Yoast weight, not a very large one, of course. And that's basically it. Indoors, I'm shooting these extraordinarily beautiful nanos. They're 700 spine, and they're made for me by my buddy Steve Elkins, who's a level 4 coach in the area and has unbelievably agreed to take me on as a student. And then outdoors, I have these X Impact with AAE wave vanes, and those are 600 spine.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. So speaking of indoor though, or in outdoor, what's your favorite game that you play with archery?
Yeah, archery.
Yeah, that's it. No, I mean, is it indoor? It doesn't matter, right? You don't care?
I don't care.
Seriously?
Hand me a bow and I'm just the happiest person. If it's too cold or if I can't get out to shoot, I do let down drills in my living room. I have shot my closet door twice, but it's my house. I patched it. It's all good. If I can't get out to the club, I shoot from my driveway into my garage. The neighbors have gotten used to it. I have a target. I can shoot 40 yards down the side of my house. It's one of the reasons why I bought this house. And it's awesome. I've got a small 3D course in my backyard, or I head out to the club and motor around on my own or meet up with friends. I don't care. Archery is just so amazing. I want to do it every day.
That's fantastic. Is it a career that you're like? I mean, that's not your career though, right? Right now.
Wouldn't that be a dream?
I know.
Yeah, no. Single mom, and I work for a living. I also do. I make pottery on the side as a hobby and small business, and yeah, and I run and I work out and all the other things that we all have to do.
That's awesome. So if I wanted to go get some of your pottery, where would I go?
Call me.
Oh, so it's just to call you. It's just to call you. Thing. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So you don't have a website that we gotta
I
talk
do.
later. I gotta market you. We're gonna have like archery pottery, and we'll take it to all the archery events. We'll
There
just
is
set up a booth.
I made some archery mugs in 2019 to thank some folks for their support. The handle is actually a representation of my bow, and there were a limited number of those were made, and they're out there.
So how did you get down in the US then? Did you already tell us how you got down to the US? You're Canadian by birth, right?
Yep, grew up in Toronto, and I was a competitive tennis player growing up, and I got a scholarship to Virginia school and never left.
That's a great story. So is Virginia nice? I've never been. I've actually never been to Virginia.
Well, we have to change that. You got to come out. We got to get you out to the club. It'll be awesome.
It was fun. It would be fun. I mean, it's a beautiful part of the country though, right?
Yeah, it's governed around regions because it's so variable. We have the plains, we have the tidewater, we have the mountain area. We've got Northern Virginia, which is basically, around the DC metro area, and that's where I'm located. And you're an hour and a half from wine country. Shenandoah Valley is just out there. It's
So nice.
fantastic.
That's a nice place to settle down. No wonder you never left and went back to Toronto. That's just sorry for all my Toronto listeners, but it is so congested. It's so every time I go back, I'm like, please don't have to drive through Toronto. I don't want to.
I love it.
I don't mind going into the city and then having some fun, or taking the GO train downtown,
Right.
But when you got to take the 401 past Toronto, or you got to get on the other side of Toronto, it's just a nightmare. It's a nightmare right now. I probably sound like a Canadian talking.
It's real. You try to explain to anyone 16 lanes of traffic on the 401 and nobody gets it.
Yeah. You lost your accent. How long have you been in the US now? Oh, wait, you don't have to answer that question if you don't want
Since 1990.
Okay. All right. So, not too bad. Still got some Canadian in you.
I do. I have a few words. I have a container of Timmy's coffee in my kitchen cabinet right here.
It's nice so do you ever get back? You ever get back home?
Well, in the before time, I did. I have my siblings and nieces and nephews are all around the Toronto area. My parents relocated north to Elliott Lake, which is east of the North Shore of Lake Huron. So it's about 6.5 hours north of Toronto, a little bit more than 2 past Sudbury. So we fly into Billy Bishop and then hop up to Sudbury, catch a car there and drive north. And it's paradise up there.
It's for those who don't know, Billy Bishop shot down the Red Baron. Just in case anyone is wondering, that airport that's named after Billy Bishop shot down the Red Baron in World War I. Canadian dude. Anyway, so.
And I love the tunnel. They have a tunnel out to it now, thank God, because I'm not good with boats. And the ferry was the shortest ferry ride in the world, 300 feet, but it was enough to kill me. So I'm very happy to walk under the lake every time.
Oh yeah. So let's get back a little bit to the archery and talk a little bit about how you're gonna give us a piece of advice that you just I know you have a coach, right? You have a coach. You have a coach.
For the first time, yeah.
So I think that really, how long have you been with this coach?
A couple months.
So you never had a coach before that?
No, I didn't do a lot of research. Like a lot of people are like, oh, the College of YouTube. I didn't do it. I talked to archers and I just got behind my bow and tried a bunch of stuff. And then I worked as hard as I could once I figured out what I had decided my shot process was, to do it exactly the same way every single time.
That is unreal. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Okay, so then give us one piece of advice. If someone's starting off in archery and they want to get good, more for like an adult, not for like kids. Let's say, it's a young adult or even an old time guy, just like myself. What would you say to me? Say, hey, Mick, this is what you got to do to get better. And what what piece of advice would you give me?
So I think it's possible for anyone. I made it onto Team USA at the age of 49. With obviously not a lot of time in sport. It's a matter of commitment. If you're willing to not just put in the time with your bow, but do the analysis and have the attention to detail, I think it's possible to do it. And it's just how committed are you? That's my biggest advice. It's not, I don't think it's a factor of talent. I think anybody can do this if they have enough commitment and rigor. And I'm willing to admit I've got a different background than a lot of people do. I got incredibly lucky and had access to some of the greatest ambassadors any sport has ever had, and they served as advisors to me. But I was the one who was out there 4 hours every day, trying to figure it out, trying to get better.
Now, did you ever run into injury training that much?
Oh, heck yeah. I'm the most injured person you know. I've had more than 30 broken bones.
What? Wow.
It's one of my superpowers. I could break a rib for you right now if you really wanted, but no thanks. Yeah. It's what we said before, that there are no good days. Every day has its challenges. You're trying to get out to the range and your boss drops something on your lap last minute, and now you're rushing around like a maniac. You get into a fight with your child or your spouse or whatever. You don't eat lunch, whatever it is. There's going to be something that complicates your archery experience that day, and just embrace it. And injuries are the same. You know, I shoot hurt. Unless I can't draw my bow, I shoot. And you know, modifying my stance because of a pulled muscle is great practice for shooting a 3D course, because you're going to be on all sorts of different terrain. You know, that, am I suggesting you make stupid decisions? No. But quite honestly, I have a device that is a peg leg. If you've injured your lower leg and you don't want to wear crutches, it's a bolt-on crutch to your leg. Wow. And I helped a gentleman. I lent it to him and I set him up with it so that he could shoot his compound bow with this thing. And you know, there's a way. And I think these injuries can bring us back better and stronger. You know, as long as you're making reasonable decisions.
I just think that is a winner mindset. That's all. I mean, people talk it, you do it. That's just a winner mindset. That's all that is. And I think that's fantastic. No, I'm literally I'm trying to compliment you. This is fantastic. I can't believe that you're saying. I mean, that's such a great message to give to everyone. It doesn't matter about archery. It doesn't matter about archery. It's like, if you want to be great at something, put the commitment, time, and the effort in. I mean, there's, you know, and then if you're injured, or I think you're saying no excuses any day. I mean, you train. There's no excuses.
Right. And even if you can't pick up your bow, well, yeah, I've had plenty of days, you know, a strained tricep or whatever it was. I can go for a run, or maybe I'm going to rake leaves. I'm going to do something. I'm going to do yoga, or I'm going to do a HIIT workout. I'm going to do something. And all of those things combine to being archery. Even if I go out and coach, coaching makes me a better archer. Just, you know, getting inside somebody's head, really analyzing their shot, and then, you know, the drive home, thinking about how those things apply to my own shot. Yeah, everything's an opportunity.
That's amazing. And do you mind if we bring up just really quickly target panic?
Yeah, no, I'm you know, we got to talk about these things. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So tell me about your struggle with target panic.
So I had a bit of a rough lead up to outdoor nationals. I came down with a potentially fatal infection. And so I got to taper going into nationals. And then I was on meds so that I wouldn't die, and those practically killed me. So like I dropped 15 to 20 pounds in a very short period of time. And so I didn't show up physically strong, but I was so happy and so grateful to be there. And, you know, the first day went fine. And in the afternoon of the first day, we shoot the mixed teams event. And for reasons that I will never understand, John Demmer asked me to be his partner. And we had done that in 2019 as well. So we're in the warm up for that. And an arrow got away from me. Like, I was not quite at anchor. I wasn't quite ready. And my hand just opened. You know, maybe I was tired, distracted. Maybe it slipped. I don't know what it was. It just got away from me. And my poor little lizard brain freaked out. Oh my God, it's so embarrassing. This needs not happen again. And so, of course, the second time you pull out the arrow, you're guaranteed. You know, I let my brain take me down into a rabbit hole, and I guaranteed getting target panic. And I really did panic. Like, oh my God, what am I doing? What can I do? Instead of stomping on it instantly, right then and there. I'm in control. I know how to do archery. I can do this. You know, I have my shot process. I'm going to implement it with as much rigor as I have. No, I lost it. And so I got through that team event. John and I took the silver, and I came back to my hotel room and I did letdown drills in my hotel room. No pressure. You know, I'm about to, like, I'm shooting the hotel room door, but And let me tell you, the first few were really ugly, really, really ugly. And so I clawed my way back, and then went out.
Can I take a break for a second on that?
Yeah.
So great idea, right? So you're dealing with target panic. You're like, you recognize the issue is it's mental, right? It's not physical,
Yep.
because you've done it a million times.
Yeah.
So you got to retrain your brain. You got to go back to the hotel room and say, I can do letdown drills. So I want to, because some people might not know what letdown drills are.
Yeah.
So tell me, take us through what a letdown drill is for you when you were back in that room.
Yeah, so you pick your dot. You've got to have a target, which is one of the reasons Outdoor Nationals was challenging for me, because warm up was blank bail, and I cannot blank bail. So, I put a little sticker target on the target and aimed at that. So I went back to the hotel room, and I aimed at the peephole at the door from as far away from it as I could get in the room. And I took myself through my shot as if it were my shot, where I set my feet and I set my balance, and I got the hook, and I went to anchor, checked my string blur, did the weight alignment on my fingers with the string, and started aiming. Did expansion, and then let it down. And I called out each one of those words, and I hit the mark on each one of those things before I moved on to the next thing.
Mhm.
And on the first few, once I got to anchor and started getting closer to aiming, as soon as I got to anchor, my hand flinched and it tried to open.
Yeah.
And it's like reprimanding an animal that's trying to bite you. I had to take control of that beast that was my stupid little lizard brain, and I had to show it that I was in charge and I was going to decide when that shot got released. And it took a few, but I was able to hold at anchor for as long as I wanted, aiming where I wanted, and it ended up feeling more relaxed in that position.
Good. Yeah, good. All right. So
And then it's going out the next day and trying to shoot with that. And of course it creeps back, and you spend the whole day going back and forth. But thank goodness for Chrissy Lyons. She was shooting next to me, and we got each other through it.
yeah, isn't it nice? You have people like Chrissy that, I know her, right? And I don't think I get nervous around her when I'm shooting, because I just feel like she's such a nice person. You can feel the good vibes coming off her. Like, she wants you to be good. I don't know what it is. I haven't shot with you yet, but I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Unfortunately, you won't be at Lancaster though. Is that you're gonna?
Yeah, I'm gonna miss that one.
Yeah,
it's not an easy decision for me. I had some major issues going on in my life that I decided I needed to focus on those things. They've all miraculously evaporated, and I'm not ready. I'm not ready to go. And with COVID, I've got some people who I owe decisions to. So I'll be staying at home and cheering and hoping for next year.
Yeah, no, being a single mom, you got to be careful what you do, and you got to make sure that you protect your family, and people rely on you, right? So people rely, not me. I'm going. No one relies on me. No one cares what I do. So they just want interviews. They just want me to interview everyone. So we're gonna go there. Me and Zernzak's gonna set up the barebow line, and I'll set up a little bit further off of that, and then I'll talk to as many people as I possibly can. Who, if you're going to if you're gonna go to Lancaster, just come over and say hi to me. Not you in particular, but anyone that's listening can come over and say hi. And I think I'm gonna get like these 5-minute long interviews of all these different archers, because there's so many, Susan, there's so many good people out there, isn't there? And, I don't get a chance to talk to everyone. Like, I'd love to. I just focus on the really awesome ones like you. No, I don't. You're awesome, but I mean, sometimes I try and get people on here that are relatable, and people like, I mean, that was a really great story. I mean, that target panic story was the best one I've ever heard, because you know what? If you haven't done that at a tournament, you've never been to a tournament. I think that story is very, very common. I mean, you just go back and then, you get guys, there's a friend of mine from Canada too, Alex Melnick, and he's like, Yeah, when you get to a tournament, you don't even practice. There shouldn't be no practicing. You just go out and shoot. Your practicing is over. You know,
Yeah, yeah. Well,
no,
I'm still fighting my way through it. You know, there's still a little bit of it in my shot, and it's just pure stubbornness on my part where I'm just every shot I'm trying to refuse to allow my brain to make that poor decision, and I'm trying to implement my shot as well as I can, and yeah, it's not going too badly. Like I'm averaging around a 270 in practice. I'd like it to be higher. You know, I had a great day last week. I was so grateful my son was there and a bunch of other people, and you know, I shot a personal best, and that was a day where you know the target panic was still there, but you know, I just said I don't care. I'm not shooting as if I have target panic. I'm shooting the way I want. And there were a lot of letdowns, and my shot took a really long time, and I didn't care. I did it the way I wanted to do it, and you know, 281, it worked.
you fought through it. I think you posted that, and I was like, better get her on the show. I think I sent the request. Like, who shoots 280 in the 280s? Like only super people, superhumans shoot that. It's true. I don't even want to don't give me any of your Canadianism. You're like a superhero. And you're shooting this.
Anybody can do anything in practice. Do it in a tournament. If you do it in a tournament, you're Grayson Partlow or John Demmer.
No, not necessarily true, because look at, you can't, I mean, you're in practice, but there's people around, right? Anytime there's people around, there's pressure. I mean, yeah, sure, there's not the national championship on the line.
Right.
Yeah, and Demmer can, you know, close the loop on that. And you know, Yaka is good at that. And Grayson, hopefully we see Grayson out this, I think he's going Lancaster. I think he's going. So we'll see whether or not he turns up for that. There's a lot of good guys. I saw Dwayne Martin shoot with like 100 people, like spectators, like hundreds and hundreds of people shooting a 3D course. And he's just like, okay, okay, I got it. 10 ring. You know, these guys are just like, and still 281, no matter what. I can't shoot 281 in my downstairs dojo, you know, like at 18 meters. It's just superhuman almost. And then you got some of these guys, Lars from Europe, and he's shooting in the 290s sometimes or something like that.
I don't understand it.
I get it. I don't get it. Maybe they got arrows this big. And they just fired them.
Right.
I don't know. Hey, how can people get hold of you? Like if people want to follow you, how do they get hold of you?
Well,
Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't imagine anybody would, but yep, Instagram, Susan Snider Archery, Facebook, you know, it looks like me. I think there's an archery picture pretty much always. So yeah, if there's anything I can do for anyone, I'm here to help. I've had so many amazing people invest in me. All I want to do is, you know, give that back to the sport. If you're ever in the DC metro area, please, please let me know. We can shoot indoors, outdoor, field, 3D, you name it. It'll be a blast.
That's awesome. Thanks for that. So thanks again for just being on, and thanks for everyone listening today. We really appreciate you being here. Just fantastic. So everyone, you know, be positive, test negative. We'll talk to you later. Thanks very much again. Take care.
Thanks, Mick.